we have speakers here. Start us off.
Yep, thank you, Arya and Alvin, for the warm welcome. Also, Don Bosco Family Unit and everyone present here for welcoming us today. So we're here with a small panel today, just about careers, like on the high school transition, HSC, how to prepare, managing stress, and all of that. And just to kick off, I'll just explain who we are. I know we don't have to, because everyone probably knows us, but just for the formality.
It's a reminder.
Yeah.
Keep it fresh in everyone's mind.
So we are SMYM, Syro Malabar Youth Movement, run under the Syro Malabar Hierarchy of St. Thomas, Melbourne, under the Youth Apostle National Team. And Alvin, you want to
yes. So we are.
We were established.
It's something that we've done in the past, and for the first thing, the first thing that comes to my mind right now is the multiple room. Easter egg rumors, we bought the eggs, 400 of it. Cyril volunteered his house. So the main part about it, rather than the eggs themselves, was it was a beautiful experience for us putting it together. And then
Unity we had.
Cyril did not like us after that. And then another thing that we've done recently was the adoration. Just yesterday, actually, we all got together. We had a choir practicing and singing. We had beautiful prayers by Anjali. It was very aesthetic. No, but it was actually a very beautiful experience, and we've done multiple things like that.
Yeah, not just we've been also being with the national team, just discussing about how we can involve the youth in our community much more actively, allowing them to also have a voice in the parish and also in the community, even in the small gatherings we have, how they can be more involved. So we had YLS, which is the most recent one, and also in December, we also have our Unite, one of the greatest gathering of all Syro Malabar youths in our national community, yeah. And also just for today, we started a small panel. Joe Sungal and Anand Dungal approached us a few weeks ago for this panel. Everyone was a bit hesitant because no one had any experience on this before. So so they're just here to share their experiences of HSC.
Absolutely. All of them? No, they're going to give you some great advice. So after that thing, we're going to have a quick Q&A session. So please ask questions. They will answer, and this might be a once in a lifetime opportunity. You never know.
Yeah, I know, because most of us, especially the parents, are very anxious about their kids who are undergoing HSC this year. Not just HSC, about what to do next. Like, uni's coming up. Uni's like a critical stage for some of us, I'm pretty sure. Everyone thinks it's a bigger part because of how we're going to move into our work stages, what work we're going to do, what kind of career the kids are going to choose. So it's all a bit of a jumble every now and then. So just to clear some down, so we have the panel here. Anjali, Cyril, Juan, and Dennis. So, as Alvin said, we have a Q&A section at the end. So, if anyone has any questions that's been up for the past years or past months, just keep on to it. We will be having a Q&A session at the end. So, first question for all of them is just to introduce themselves, what you study, and where you work at for some.
Hi everyone, my name is Anjali. I actually did my HSC a couple of years ago now, and in university I studied a Bachelor of IT and a Bachelor of Creative Intelligence and Innovation. And I graduated over a year ago, and now I'm working as a technical account manager at a company called VMware.
Hi everyone, so my name is Cyril. I'm still in university. I finished my HSC in 2019. I am a third year Bachelor of Accounting student at UTS. I also work as an assurance intern at PwC. That's all.
Hi everyone, my name is Juan. I graduated Year 12 in 2018, and then I finished a Bachelor of Health Science at the University of Queensland, and now I'm studying a Doctor of Medicine at the University of Sydney, and first year.
Hello everyone, I'm Dennis. I'm a first year. I graduated last year from Malabar. I study a double degree of Actuarial Studies and Computer Science at UNSW.
Okay, so for our second question, soon. what is the best advice you can provide so they can achieve their best? So if Juan would like to lead it.
I guess the biggest thing that I can say is try and have some form of balance. Year 12 is a very stressful time for everyone. It's stressful for the Year 12s. It's stressful for their parents, everyone around them. And I guess just try and have some form of routine and some form of balance. There's a lot of anxiety. And the things that Brian was saying before was very important. Have some sort of certainty, know what you're going to do. But also, don't just focus on study. You can't just study 24/7. You need other things in your life. You need to have physical activity. You need to focus on your sleep. And personally, what's been really helpful for me is my prayer life as well, my faith. That's definitely been an anchor for me as well, all through Year 12, all through undergraduate time as well. Because your marks might go downhill. Your relationship with your parents might not be the best, your friends might leave, but the constant in your life is always going to be God. And make sure that you're always nurturing your relationship with Jesus. And that's going to be very important for your mental health and just in life in general as well. Yeah.
So similar to what Juan is saying, I think one of the big mistakes a lot of people do is to leave it to the last minute. So starting early is the biggest thing you can do. And also another thing is a lot of people don't study very smart. So most people will read notes, write notes, and if you ask them the next day what they learned, they'll often forget it. So the best way is to do things like explaining it to another person, actively trying to recall what you learned, and then if you can do this in a successive pattern, you'll really understand the content and what you're learning. And then once you get to the exam, the thing I've always used is always thinking about what the marker wants and how to impress the marker. So if you always look at that, you always have that perspective of the marker instead of what you're writing. So it always gives that impact when you write. So for the marker, you want them to have the easiest way to give you full marks. So as long as you focus on that, you can always do well.
Dennis, if you would like to chip something in.
So yeah, as I graduated last year, I had to study a lot through COVID, and in lockdown, so at that time I realized the importance of maintaining balance. So one advice I'd offer is keep doing what you enjoy, because just because you're studying for HSC doesn't mean you should stop. Maybe not do as much of it, but still keep it up, as that's a way to maintain balance. Other than that, also trust in God, because He knows what His plans are for you, so just trust in Him and He'll get you where you need to be.
And the third question, Joanne, if you can help lead this, what is some advice to parents of Year 12 students as they are preparing for their HSC?
I guess just recognize that they're going through a very stressful and unique time, probably one of the hardest times of their life. And it's probably going to be a very stressful time for you as well as parents. I guess the best thing you can do is try and not put pressure on them, because they're probably already putting enough pressure on themselves. When their marks go downhill and they're in this very stressful environment where their friends might also be pressuring them, or there's just all these different problems in their life that you might not know about. So just try and be there to support them, and just try and help them flourish and help them do their best. And yeah, that's
Dennis?
I would also say for parents just to trust your children, because they know what they want to do and they will do it if they want to do it. Other than that, don't add additional stress because they're already under stress, and they should just do what they need to do without your interference in a negative way.
The next question is a common question that everyone gets. It's about choosing the right degree and the right course, which uni, which is something that I struggled a lot with, especially during HSC. Especially during HSC, when you're studying, everyone's mind wanders on what are they supposed to do after they finish HSC. What course are we doing? So the next question is, how did you figure out what career and what degree you wanted to do?
So I had no idea what I wanted to do in high school. I liked everything. I wasn't like super good at one specific thing, so I kind of kept my options open, and it was actually my parents who kind of told me to go down this path of computer science, IT, engineering. So they reached out to like a lot of our family friends, they asked about careers, and they kind of gave me guidance, because at that point I didn't know what to go into. So I initially started an engineering degree, and then 1 year into that I realized, as you get older and maturer, you kind of realize what you enjoy more. So when I was 17 in high school, I had no idea what to do, and I know a lot of kids know exactly what they want to do, but I was one of those people that didn't know what I want to do. And what's really great about university is you don't have to stick with what you start. It's really easy to transition. So I transitioned from engineering into a business information systems IT degree in my second year, because in the first year I realized that while I like the technical aspect of it, I like more of talking to people and being customer facing. So once I realized that, I was able to make that transition. In terms of university, I looked at universities that had more industry relevance, so universities that had a higher chance of getting graduate roles, and that's why I picked UTS. But yeah, my big learning curve was that once you make a decision in year 12, it doesn't mean that's the end of it, that you have to follow that path. In Australia especially, it's really, really easy to move degrees and to move career paths if you change your mind.
Yeah, so for me, I think always I've been interested in like social sciences, so like economics, business, and that's what I did well in as well. So a good way to understand what you're interested in is see what you do well in. And so for me, that I always like the commercial aspect of the of subjects. And when I used to do economics and business, I used to always want to know more than just what the subject taught. So that was always something that I knew that I should pursue and focus on. So I think for me, finding what I do well and then focusing on that was the best way to choose the correct degree.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add than that. I guess in my case, I really liked the sciences, and I also really like the humanities, and I guess that's why medicine is a good career in that aspect, because it is like a combination of, you know, the biological and the physical sciences, but also the humanities. You know, you're also working with real people, with emotions, and just different stories. So I guess like they said just before, figure out what subjects you do well in, what subjects you enjoy studying in school, and based off that, try and look at degrees that involve those subjects.
I think that's basically everyone summed up everything, but for me personally, I was planning to go into engineering at first, but my parents told me there might not be many job prospects in the area, so I decided to go with something with with more security and more prospects, which was actuarial studies. And so far I'm enjoying it. I'm only in my first year, but yeah, if I don't enjoy it, I can always change, which is the wonders of Australian education.
In saying that, if you have any questions, there's a post-it notes going around. If someone can write it down and pass it on, we can be answering that at the end. So the next question is on how we overcame pressure from parents to do certain degrees. Example, engineering, medicine, just as theoretical boards.
So overcoming pressure from parents, that's fun while my mum is sitting in the front row. I think when it comes to pressure from parents, it's easy for teenagers or for kids to get really emotional. And what I understood is that you have to be really logical about it, and your parents will actually be really understanding if you talk them through it logically. So if you show them the pros and cons, if you explain to them from a rational point of view, job prospects, security and all that. So I think, yeah, try not to be emotional when facing parent pressure. And in my case, when I moved from engineering to IT, there was initially some pressure because engineering is obviously more favored in the Indian community. And I just had to kind of sit down with my parents and explain to them, you know, these are my, I guess, talents, or this is where I excel at. And frame that in terms of why I want to transition to another degree. And then once I explained it from that logical point of view, they were really understanding, which is what helped in my case.
So similar to what Anjali is saying, so when I was trying to choose a degree to do in university, there's obviously that pressure to do medicine or something like engineering compared to like a social science degree, like accounting or finance. So the best way for me is to sit with them and understand what I'm doing well. Like I mentioned, I was doing much better in my economics, business studies compared to like chemistry and maths. And so by explaining to them, this is what I'm excelling at, and this is what I can become a good and a specialist in, this is the best way to show them that this is your perfect degree for you.
Yeah, just adding on from what they said, like pressure from parents is always going to be there, and it's easy to antagonize your parents, but I guess we have to understand that it does come from a good place. Your parents want you to do well in life, they want you to be happy in life, and sometimes like what they might see as good for you might not be what you see as good for you in your future. And like they said before, like you just have to try and make them understand. And it's not always going to be like that. They're not going to pressure you your entire life. Once you start getting into uni, you start thriving, they begin to understand that this is a career that you wanted, or this is a pathway that you really wanted. And yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, I think there's not much to add on, but it's more just trusting yourself and knowing what you're good at, and letting your parents know why you want to do what you want to do, because you know you're good at it. So,
Yep, just the final last quick question on how you guys managed to transition into uni very smoothly, and if you have any other tips.
So I found out that in university it's a lot more self-driven. Everything is in your hands. You got to pick what you want to do when you want to do it. So in that regard, you have a lot of choice over what you want to do and when you want to do it. So that gives you a lot of power. But in the same aspect, you also need to manage your time well, know when things are due, because no one will tell you. It's more like they have it up somewhere, you have to search for it, find it when your assignments are due, when your exams are, and then make sure you do them and submit them on time.
Yep, so saying that, we would like to wind up. Or do you have anything else to add? Yeah, so we'll just start to wind up now. And just saying that an early invitation to all, we will be running a bigger one in our parish in the next 2 months or so. So we're planning on early August. Hopefully we can get that on the way. So we will be inviting everyone to that. So thank you for having us here, especially Don Bosco Ward for inviting us here. Also, I forgot, did anyone have any questions? Thank you.
If you guys do have any questions, even if it's the parents or the children,